I just filled my fucking mouth.
I can see you. You should take smaller bites. That's way too much. That's fucking gross.
There's a reason why I'm fat.
Oh, there's our intro.
Facts on tracks. We're gonna break some vinyl down from the front to the back with facts on tracks.
Showtime. Welcome to Breaking Vinyl. I'm your host, Des, a.k.a. Johnny Fever. As always, I'm joined by my three co-hosts. First up, the podcaster, coming through with a full mouth of breakfast sandwich.
Evil Ed.
Yeah, thanks for waiting the extra fucking 10 seconds, dick.
And the podcaster playing the deep cuts with a cigarette and a Mountain Dew for breakfast.
Dangerous Dave.
Hey, how you doing?
And last but not least, the podcaster with a degree in rock and roll and a blank look on his face.
Eganstein.
I had Cheerios for breakfast.
Fucking sitting in front of the TV watching the Laugh Olympics eating fucking Fruit Loops. I can picture it. All right. As always, the mission of this show is for us to introduce each other and you, the listeners, to albums and bands which you may never have heard of before, while also discussing the classics. And on occasion, we will discuss a kind of weird in-between album like this one. I don't know if it matters, so sit back and enjoy the show. Tonight,
Yeah, it's definitely an in-between album.
it is. Tonight, we will be discussing Allied Forces, the fifth studio album by Triumph, produced by Triumph, first mistake, released on September of 1981 by Attic Records. That's where I found this album. The album reached number 23 on the Billboard 200. The band's lineup was as follows. Rick Emmett on acoustic, 6-string, 12-string guitars, bottleneck slide, lap steel guitar, lead and backing vocals. These guys just wanted to mop up as much glory as they could. Gil Moore. Oh, God. On the drums. That's all I'm going to say. Mike Levine on bass, organ, synthesizer, piano. This guy is the star of the show. And what's his name?
Elaine?
That's a fucking gay name.
I think it's
Elaine
a lady.
Elaine Over. Okay, then it's fine. Elaine Overholt backing vocals. Okay, I don't know if
You really didn't know that was a woman? You heard their voices, right? They're super high, these guys' voices.
So too
And
high.
how dare you short Gil Moore for not... I mean, he sings lead and background vocals all over the place in this album.
I was so offended by Gil Moore during my listening that I didn't want to talk about him or his background vocals.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
Okay.
Drums and percussion.
Drum. Why don't they? No, let's take out the word drums and put in trash cans. Okay. I would like to welcome our new listeners on the tiny island of Mauritius. I looked it up. Very small island. Thanks for tuning in and welcome to the show.
Where's the island, Des?
In the middle of the ocean.
Which ocean?
I'm going to say the Indian Ocean. Am I right?
I don't know. You're the one who looked it up.
Oh, I don't know.
Apparently you didn't look it up that good.
I didn't. I just wanted to see what it was, and I was like, "Wow, that's a tiny little." Fee, can you please get on that while I
I
finish
think it's
in
called
here?
Mauritius. Yeah.
Okay. Can you spell it?
Yeah. Mauritius, but it's East Africa, so Indian Ocean area, right off Madagascar.
Bazinga!
Nice.
The kid gets
Nice
it.
job,
Indian
Des.
Ocean. Thank you. I was guessing. That was such a good guess. Okay. Let's do some quick band facts on this bad boy. So Rolling Stone magazine reviewers didn't think Triumph stood out enough from the other rock and heavy metal bands around at the time and called this band Faceless. And I agree. Dave, what do you got on Triumph?
I have number one. Triumph is a bunch of dirty Canadians,
Yes.
but let's not hold that against them.
No, let's.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah.
Number two.
I love Canada.
Yes, Canada is awesome. Gilmour, the drummer, sings tracks number 1 and 4. Guitarist Rick Emmett and possibly his Otter Jug Band sing the rest. The third, I got jokes today. Triumph received the influential Performance Magazine's.
Jesse's losing his mind.
So good.
Okay.
Triumph received the influential Performance Magazine's Innovators of the Year Award in 1981.
Oh, since I started taking the gummies, everything is so much funnier. I was saying to my wife, we've laughed more times in the last 10 days than we have in the last 10 years. And my wife is an esthetician, and she sent me a picture from work. She's supposed to wear like these special shoes that she has to wear at this spa because she works like a really nice spa. She sends me a picture. She's wearing Vans with checkers on them. She goes, I started my first client. I looked down, and this is what I saw. Oh, fuck. Ed. What do you got?
In my opinion, Triumph is Canada's second greatest rock trio, right behind the almighty Rush.
Yeah.
I'm a massive fan of Triumph. I love them. Triumph was formed in Toronto in 1975 after a chance meeting led Rick Emmett, Levine, and Moore to embark on a marathon jam session. Their popularity grew in a unique way. The first two albums were released only in Canada, which was very typical for Canadian artists at the time, because Canada, I don't know if they still have it, but at the time, they had rules where music, the radio stations had to play X amount of Canadian-based artists. But weirdly enough, when they released only in Canada, they wound up garnering like significant airplay in, of all places, Texas. And they wound up embarking on a Texas-only tour. In 1979, the band had its first top 40 hit with the song Hold On. They had another song, Lay It on the Line, in heavy rotation on the rock stations. This album, Allied Forces, was their breakout record. It immediately went gold and eventually platinum.
Interesting
more,
for an
but I'll
album
say-
that has 7 songs on it.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
Jesus.
And you weirdly, in 1988, Rick Emmett. I'm sorry, not 88. During eventually, Rick Emmett started doing cartoons for the magazine Hit Parader. And I remember once I read that, I went, "Oh, that's right. I remember seeing them when I would read Hit Parader." You know, not well. Look at the pictures because back then I didn't read anything.
Yeah. Fucking weird. We're hanging pictures of like fucking guys with bulges in their spandex
You have
pants
rock
on our
stars all
walls.
over the wall, and then you're
Like,
like,
what am I doing? Like, what? That was so gay. Oh,
it was it's such a leftover of the 60s and 70s.
yeah. Ugh, just bizarre. Fee, what do you got on the Mighty Triumph?
The mighty Triumph. I love it. No, I didn't really know where to go with this, but I found it funny that one of the things we talked about last week in the show, or Ed, you did specifically, was mixing in covers when you're getting started. And these guys kind of got big off of, they covered Rocky Mountain Way, Joe Walsh. And I listen to both. I mean, this Triumph, just their version just doesn't hit like Joe Walsh's does, you know, but it was good. You know, it was pretty
It is Joe
straightforward.
Walsh, I mean.
Right. No, and then I looked up. I'm like, well, where's Rush from? If these guys are from the Toronto area too, and they were born, I guess, 34 kilos apart, one kind of on either side of Toronto, if you would, you know. So
Interesting.
but yeah, no, not too much. I just thought it was funny how they got their break off a cover tune.
Feet, do they still put prizes in boxes of Fruit Loops?
I have no idea.
So you don't know if there's a fucking toy in the bottom of that box?
Well, I don't eat Fruit Loops.
What did you eat? What'd you say you were eating?
Cheerios.
Cheerios?
Yeah.
Cheerios suck. All right. Let's do some opening
Fruit
thoughts.
Loops Fruit Loops cause diabetes, man. I can't fucking do that shit.
Okay.
I'm 50 years old.
Okay. Fucking, I eat limoncello before I go to bed. So, opening thoughts. I've heard this. I've never heard this album in its entirety, but I've heard a couple of the songs on the radio, obviously. These guys are talented, some of them, but I have problems with this album. And the big problem, I think, right out of the gate is that they produced it, and it's obvious. It needed a couple of more tunes and a couple of tunes taken off, like fucking Fusing. Maybe put a couple of cover songs. I don't know. I mean, you had room. Fucking, I don't know. This band is weird. There's no reason I should hate it, but I kind of do. I don't know. Dave, have you ever heard this album before preparing for the podcast?
I have not. No memories of this. I haven't heard it before. I have heard the song Magic Power in the past. And I have seen Rick Emmett in guitar magazines. Specifically remember him in the ads for the Starlix guitar instructional videos back in the 80s.
Nice. Ed, I know you fucking jacked off to this thing in concession.
Oh, numerous times.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I actually never heard the entire album. I've heard everything except for probably one song off this album previously, although at the time I was probably doing inappropriate things with illicit early 80s drugs.
Nice.
But yeah, Triumph is definitely it's hit or miss. Songs are winner, songs are loser. There's no in between with them, in my opinion. But I think the songs that I enjoy from Triumph, I think, are just great songs.
But Ed, even the good songs lack identity. They just do. The band has no fucking identity.
Think about the time. I mean, this is what, 81?
Yep.
They got together in 75. They were that transition when disco was big, rock had no identity, and you had bands like this that were forming, trying to create what became the 80s rock sound.
And they don't have
I think
they don't
Rick
have a
Emmett
signature
and
sound.
the bass player are just monster talents.
Yeah.
The drummer is a good drummer. I like him. I think that the album definitely has that 80s sound that is unavoidable. When you were dependent on the budget you had for how well the album was going to sound.
Yeah, I disagree. These drums have you ever been in a jam room? You got a room, there's like a band that plays next door. It's like a bunch of old dudes, but they're good, but they're old and they're not cool. And like the drummer has like an old Slingerland drum set that sounds like fucking like trash cans, and he's playing these like overextended fucking fills on the fucking toms, like that's this fucking album is terrible. These drums are fucking trash. Oh my God.
But it was 81, dude. You're trying to compare it to something different.
There's a lot of great bands from 81. The singer, can he sing?
Tell me how these drums sound any different than like Peter Criss's drums. Peter Criss's drums sound just as fucking terrible.
Also a terrible drum sound.
Yeah, they didn't have the ability or the speakers to be able to get the depth that we have now.
Bullshit. There's so many great albums from 81 with warm, fucking studio-produced drums that sound in the pocket like they were recorded in a studio and not in a fucking jam room in the Rock Island studios. This is fucking bad.
Yeah, they're called electronic.
No, this is bad. Feet, what do you got?
I never heard this album in its entirety, but I knew the majority of the songs. I guess I'll say this. The one thing about Triumph that kind of proved true throughout the week for me is like, I hear the songs from time to time and I'm like, oh, that's a good tune. And then I never like care if I listen to it again or not. You know what I mean? Like it just doesn't get me super excited, but there are some good songs.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's so weird. It's such a weird album. Like the singer's clearly is talented and has tons of range, but I fucking hate his voice by the end. It's all in one register. It's all fucking high. It's all hollow. He's got no mid, no low. He's fucking all over the place. He gets into these weird situations where he gets fucking like that.
Oh my God. Listening to you evaluate people is like listening to someone talk politics. They have the one thing they like. They describe everything they hate, and it's exactly what they worship as well. So I can't fucking get you at all.
This is the exact same thing you said about the mighty Jason McMasters. All right. Let's get into the Fast Five.
Only this guy actually can sing.
Okay.
Rick Evans' voice is fucking a god.
Oh my God! Come on, he's got no fucking identity. This
It
isn't
is beautiful. It's high. Oh, fuck off.
You got Geddy Lee. You got
No, do not tell me Geddy Lee is a fucking great singer.
He's better than this guy.
No, not even close.
Oh yeah. Then you got you got Freddie Mercury. You've got singers with identity.
Yeah. Freddie Mercury's an actual fucking singer.
Yeah, this
Rick
guy
Evans
is
a guitar player that can sing.
Okay. Let's keep going. Time for the
We need
Fast
to do this in
Five.
person so we can start getting in fistfights.
I am going for my my purple belt, and I am becoming quite efficient in submission holds. I think I could get you in a Kimura and make you tap. Okay.
I'm sure you can.
Now it's time for the Fast Five, as I've said 4 times. So today it's going to be cover or original. Now, if you know the answer, don't say it with conviction. All I want out of you is a robot answer. Cover, original. Okay, do we understand?
No problem.
Okay. First one.
The robot says no problem.
That went over my head for a second, and then I realized that's how you answer everything. Nicely played, sir. Nicely played, sir. Okay, number 1, Tainted Love by Soft Cell. Dave.
Cover.
Okay. Ed.
Original.
Fee.
Cover.
Okay. Tainted Love by Soft Cell is a cover song. It was written by Ed Cobb and recorded by Gloria Jones in 1964. Okay. Number 2, All Along the Watchtower by Jimi Hendrix. Dave.
Cover.
Ed.
Cover.
Fee.
Cover.
Okay. Written and recorded by Bob Dylan in 1967. I like the way you guys are embracing this bit. It's perfect. I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston. Dave.
Cover.
Ed.
Cover.
Fee.
Cover.
Okay, it was a cover. And it was written and recorded by Dolly Parton in 1974, where it went number 1, and again in 1982, where it also went number 1. Number 4, Betty Davis Eyes by Kim Carnes. Dave.
Original.
Ed.
Original.
And Fee.
Original.
And you're all wrong. It was written and recorded by Jackie DeShannon in 1974, but it was not it. Yes. And number 5, this is a big one, boys. Girls Just Want to Have Fun by the great Cyndi Lauper with all of her eczema. Dave.
Original.
Okay. Ed.
Original.
And Fee.
Original.
The song was written and recorded by Robert Hazard in 1979, though he only did it as a demo, and it was never picked up.
So
All right, see
you
what I
didn't
did
throw
there?
a single fucking original in there?
Yeah.
What
see
the
what I
fuck?
did there? They were all fucking
all
cover songs.
covers.
Okay.
So it was original if he never put it on a record. If it's just a
Well,
demo.
She didn't write it. It wasn't
Never
an
got
original.
cut.
You didn't ask that.
All right. We'll agree to disagree. Okay.
Okay.
All right, let's get into this fucking puppy. See what we got. So track 1, Fool for Your Love. Not as good as the Whitesnake version, okay? Like, love Whitesnake, not loving this. Verse in this song, guys, did you not get the fucking big bottom from Spinal Tap in this. She gonna sink me with a pink torpedo. It is fucking Big Bottom. It is.
I got a
But
lot of Spinal Tap off of this whole album.
so much, Dave, but not as good. It's like Spinal Tap. So it's like Spinal Tap without the hooks and the coolness, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we always talk about how important it is to build on good drums, and these drums are fucking terrible. One, they're produced up like hollow live trash cans. The snare is terrible. His fill selection is so awful. He plays these overlong fucking tom fills, and he's just so janky. I really hate it. Song has a decent bridge only because it's Big Bottom, and I love Big Bottom. Didn't really love this version of Big Bottom.
Hey, dummy,
What?
which came out first?
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Okay,
Matter.
so this sounds like a song that wasn't written for another 3 years.
I don't know. Maybe, all right.
It's
Okay.
not how it works.
So even better. So a band does a spoof on goofy rock and roll bands, and they decide to fucking model their album after fucking Triumph. There you go. I think it's all been said.
And what happened to that Spinal Tap album? It was a fucking hit album.
Yeah, and this, oh god. Okay. So this is definitely rock and roll, but my Gaydar alarm is going off. Something feels off. Specifically with the singer. At a glance, you might think this guy is amazing, and he definitely does have range. But as the album unfolds, it started to wear me out, man. This guy's a one-trick pony. Bass is amazing. I'm going to say it on every track because I'd like to say something nice about this album on every track. I wish it was louder. And the guitar sound and performance is solid throughout the album with some janky, weak playing slipped in here and there. But for 1981, pretty good. Dave, what do you got? Full for Your Love.
All right. Yeah. The drummer sings this one. Their voices kind of sound pretty similar between the drummer and the guitar player.
I would have
But-
never known the difference, Dave.
Yeah. Yeah. Opens with some guitar feedback. Then the band kicks in, pretty rockin' sounding, a little sloppy slide guitar. Reminds me of Aerosmith meets the Scorpions and Whitesnake. Drums, bass, vocal sound, pretty good. Guitar sounds a little questionable. Solo was okay, nothing crazy.
Dave, these drums you didn't think the production on these things were just like trash?
It was a little
Ugh.
weird sounding, but
God,
I mean, a lot of albums did sound like this back in the day.
I don't know. I think I could pull a couple of like early metal albums out from 81, probably like Docking, Quiet Riot, stuff like that. They were producing up good
Please
drums.
do. No, they sound exactly like this.
They don't. They don't.
Your
Yeah.
memory has been proven to be, oh yeah, I suggested this album and I really, it doesn't hold up. There's a lot of that coming from you. So yeah, you remember things the way you remember them. And then when you listen to them, all of a sudden you change your mind. So you find an album from this time period that had great drum sounds.
Oh, they're out there. There's some great drum sounds in 81. Ed, talk about this fucking song.
Sorry, Dave, are you done?
Yes.
I was just gonna say, I'm sure you could find some albums with a little better drum sounds, but it didn't bother me too much. But I see your point about it kind of sounding like trash cans in a practice room.
It did, and you didn't think that his fucking fill selection was just trash with these overly long old man fucking tom fills. So bad.
We're giving it a chance. It's only track one.
Okay.
Let's
Ed,
see.
Ed, pitch this thing up.
And I love how the three of us, all musicians who have never really done anything significant, we're not making our living as musicians, are tearing apart stuff like this. It's just so perfect.
Speak for yourself. I was almost a rock star.
Yeah, so was I.
Me too.
Okay.
That's what we do here.
Okay.
That's the whole point of the
We've
show.
all had our
It was
all
that
right.
close.
The song opens with a little feedback tone, and I like it. It's a nice subtle tone. I enjoyed it. Then the band kicks in, and I think it's a great groove and quick little guitar solo. Verse starts, and the vocal melody really fits the music well. I think the lyrics, I think, are good for the time. I mean, yeah, they're kind of cheesy, but they're not terrible. The pre-chorus transitions so well and has this great, simple 2-part harmony. Gilmore and Rick Emmett's voices sound together is just gold, I think. I remember hearing it, really understanding the significance of sometimes simple harmonies are just, they work well. And I think the pairing of the two of them singing just two different notes works so good. It's simple but catchy. The chorus is straight out of 1981, and I like it. I think it's cool. I'm a huge fan of Rick Emmett's guitar playing. I think he delivers a great solo on this song. And this was like the rock band that really got me listening to, like, this was like the stepping stone for me to go to a heavier band. Because at the time I was listening to a lot of Jay Giles and Aerosmith, and they kind of had that very specific sound. And then I remember getting introduced to Triumph when I started hanging down a certain neighborhood, because all the older guys were listening to, this band, and they were all trying to be rock stars back then. And I fell in love with the band, and just it introduced me to a lot of things. So yeah, my opinion today is definitely going to be biased based on my personal experience with it, but I still think just everything about the band, this song, I think it's good. It's a really good song.
Steven Tyler, Peter Wolf. Come on. Iconic singers, identities. You hear it, you love it, you want it. They fucking have layers. They go all over the place. They do it all. Don't even put these two fucking jamokes in the same sentence with those two singers. Fee, what do you got? Just because you can sing high doesn't mean you're great. We learned that in the Dangerous Toys fucking episode.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Fee, go.
I'm so glad you guys mentioned the bass playing, because I thought that, like, when I listened to the first song, I was like, oh wow, another like back-to-back solid bass players, on
Mike
albums we're
Levine's
doing.
A beast.
Yeah, pretty fucking good. I liked it. I like this song, and like you were saying, this simple chorus, like, it was catchy for me. This was one of the songs I enjoyed the most this week. Gilmore, what was the other track he sang? It was track 4.
Yes,
Come on, Ed.
Yeah.
Crickets.
I don't remember who sang what from memory. Jesus.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I found those were my two favorite vocal performances on the album. Like, I thought, but that was just for me. But this is one of my top tracks on the album. I really like it.
Fee, it's funny you said that, because this first song I actually wrote, good piece of vocal. The drummer had the same voice, but he had a little bit more control. He wouldn't like go off the rails every second he was singing. Like, every phrase, it was like, just like, shut up, fucking sing. Track 2, Magic Power. So this guitar intro is really well played. With the addition of the flute, though, it really comes across as a Led Zeppelin ripoff for me. And of course, I've heard this song before. The vocal, it's okay, it's solid. Chorus, probably the best chorus on the whole album. This one is refined, and a lot of these songs aren't refined. They'll have a good idea, but it feels like it just wasn't produced up into like a whole song, and this whole album wasn't produced up into a whole album. The whole thing feels incomplete for me, every inch of it. Drum sound, completely distracting, especially when they dump this heavy reverb on it. Like 3/4 of the way in, they just say, let's just dump a shitload of reverb on these drums now. It's like, no, you got to do that before the song starts. You can't just make a change like that in the middle of the song. Fucking yanked me out of my chair. And I wish, as to my point, I wish the arrangement was simpler on this song. It didn't need all these fucking different parts. This one should have been verse, bridge, chorus, rinse, repeat, verse, bridge, chorus, give me a solo, take me out, hit song, stamp it, put it on the radio. I started to forget I was listening to a hit song at certain parts. I'm like, where are we? What are we doing? I don't know. Dave, what do you got?
12-string guitar and fluty keyboard sound. Where are the elves? Something about this chorus reminds me a lot of Journey.
Big time.
That's who you would assume it's a Journey song. You know, you wouldn't know that it's
And that's a
necessarily
bad thing.
Triumph.
It is because
or
this singer is no fucking Steve Perry.
Yep. Could be, Super Tramp or something like that. You don't know. According to an interview with Gil, the drummer, on ClassicRockRevisited.com, Rick wrote most of this song by himself. It's all right.
Yeah, it's okay. Ed, what do you got on Magic Power?
This is a top 10 song for me.
What? Forever?
Forever. I love this song.
Oh.
It comes on and I fucking lose my shit. I love the intro. I love Rick Emmett's voice, the whole lyrics, everything about the song I love. Smooth bass tone for this. And really, again, just kudos to the fucking Levine. He did a great job on this. I like the music builds up, starts to really get your adrenaline flowing, and then that chorus kicks in, and I think it's just super hooky. I sing it at the top of my lungs every time I hear it. Second verse, you have that bass carrying the snare beat is the main focus. I love it. I thought it did exactly the opposite of what you wanted, but it did what you want does. Whereas it was, you had the first verse and here's the music for it, and then they play the second verse. They changed the music just enough where the drums really drop back. You have the bass handling the snare roll, where it's just a constant bump, 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 while the guitar is just doing the little picking. I thought it offered a nice change without straying away from what the song is. And then as soon as the snare starts to come in, the bass switches to the 16th notes, and you start to you feel your adrenaline start to flow, and then it just boom, it explodes for that second quick little like never gonna stop and goes right into the solo. Oh, I think it's just fucking fantastic. I love it. And then the last verse, you have the guitar adding all these little ripping licks. So I like it. It's what I consider a song. I don't like songs that don't build, and this song builds. You had the opening. It actually kind of starts out big. Well, it starts out small because it's a mellow, but after it builds, it brings it back down. It builds up again, but differently. You have that ripping solo. You have that big, huge part, and then it kind of just it just keeps there right until the end. And I love it. This is just phenomenal for me.
I thought the three main sections did build verse, bridge, chorus. But then when they slipped in these other little sections, it just kind of took me out of the song. And then they try and launch me back in. I don't know, man. Didn't work for me. And as far as the bass goes, yeah, amazing. But the problem was the drummer couldn't keep up with this bass player. So when the bass player would start doing these amazing things, it just fucking highlighted how shitty this drummer was. He wasn't up to the fucking task.
I would put it a different way because I don't disagree with you. I think the drummer and bass player lack the sync that a drummer and bass player should have.
Big time.
Like and you mentioning that, I probably didn't notice it as much before, but now that you mention it, yeah, I can totally see like the importance, and people underestimate the importance of a drummer and bass player being on the same page. It's the drummer drives, the bass player's the co-pilot, and everyone else is just fluff. Yeah. So if the drummer and bass player are off, the song is not going to be good. The band's not going to be that great. They're going to be great because you have a lot of great bands that have drummers and bass players that just aren't in sync. But oh man, if these guys are in sync, it's any band with the drummer and bass player in sync is just you own the show.
Yeah. But there wasn't
isn't that why Rush works so well?
What is it, Pete?
Isn't that why Rush works so well?
Oh yeah, fucking amazing. And
absolutely.
Yeah. It's not like this drummer is like the worst drummer I ever heard. He's just rookie. He sounds like a really good player from like a local live jam room studio. Like some guy like, hey, this is my Uncle Pete. He's like 50. He's been playing bands his whole life. Got a sling-a-ling drum kit. And he's like, it's like, yeah, I mean, whatever. He's in time, but fucking no thanks. And Ed, how about we put it like this? it's almost like a fire truck. You got the guy steering from the front, but then you got the bass player steering from the back. You need them both.
No, absolutely. Yeah, you need
Okay.
them both on the same page.
Fee, what do you got on Magic Power?
You know, it's funny because all week I'm sitting there going, Ed's going to blow his load on this song and Des is going to talk about how gay it is, you know?
So gay.
That's
Ding, ding, ding. Winner, winner.
just, right. But I mean, it's a fucking hit song for a reason. You know what I mean? It's a good fucking song. It takes you places. There's no, you know, you can. I don't see how you can complain about this song at all. This is a great fucking song. Not my favorite on the album, but it's a good song. It's a good song for a reason.
It actually is my favorite song on the album. I'm going to spoiler alert. Only because it's the only song that feels like it's complete and has a really good chorus. Like this actually feels like a flushed out song. So for that reason, and favorite is a very strong word. Track 3, Air Raid. Okay. They should have just made this the intro to Allied Forces. Should have just been part of Allied Forces. That's my thought. Dave, what do you think? Not much to talk about.
Yeah, this doesn't count as a song. It's literally a synthesized air raid siren and random sound effects. I think I heard this on my Nintendo back in the day, but it should have just been tacked on to some other, the next song.
Dude, you hit the nail on the head too. It's not even a good sound effect. It's like beep, 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 beep. It's like
It's got the fake machine gun sounds in the background.
It's like Contra.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my god, it sounds just like Contra. Yes. Yeah, I don't know why. Why would you make this a separate track? What I'm thinking is like, and I found this. This happened when I started to upload music to my computer from CD. The computer would separate intros. Like I remember trying to upload Operation Mindcrime before you could buy it online. I was like early music players that were digital. I tried uploading it, and it kept separating all the speaking parts that are all like the story in between the songs into separate tracks. I'm like, no, this is the intro to this track. So I couldn't listen to it without like everything getting screwed up. I'm hoping, well, I can't even hope because they did this on purpose, and it's just fucking bad. Like Dave said, and you said, make it 10 seconds long and make it the intro to Allied Forces.
Make it 5 seconds long.
Maybe they were having like Vietnam flashbacks or something, and I don't know.
I don't know, man. Fee, I mean, do you have anything to say about this? Bowl of Cheerios? I don't know.
Right. No, I do have one thing to say because I was reading a review on this album and the guy's like, and there are 2 interludes on the album that don't really disrupt the flow at all. And I just immediately stopped reading because I was like, you're a fucking moron at that point. Like they completely disrupt the flow of the album. They're terrible. So yeah, awful. Nope.
Leading us into track 4, Allied Forces. So this is like their big political Cold War song. So gay. God. So, all right. Great bass, rocking over trash can drums, which is so distracting. Terrible. I don't love the lyrics or the vocal melodies, especially in the chorus. Man, this should have been a hit song. This should have been a rocker. This thing should have been one that made me want to just be like, yeah. And that's my dilemma with this band. Almost in so many spots, almost. Like, this is what I really should like. I like 70s. I like the rock. It's not 80s glam pussy metal. It's fucking, but it's also not good 70s hard rock and roll that's well flushed out, well produced, and kicking ass at all moments. It's wishy-washy. I really wish they had run the guitar solo down the middle too. So they start doing this weird thing where they're running this solo in my fucking right ear while the singer's going, and I'm just like, oh, fucking fuck off with this. Dave, what'd you think?
Yeah, I had kind of the same notes. The beginning started a little prog rock. Chorus was okay. Guitar solo started a little weak. And then my note is, why is the drummer singing over the solo and it's panned to the side like it's not even featured? The end of the solo is all right. It gets hotter as it moves along. Great scream from the drummer after the solo.
Yeah. I mean, when the band is producing the album, like, who knows? Maybe the guitar player, like, got in a fight with, like, the singer that day, and after he did his solo, he left, and the singer was like, "Fucking run it down the left, and I'm gonna sing over it, pussy." Ed, what do you got on Allied Forces?
It's got a fade in intro, and I actually don't dislike it. No, I think it works for this. And I like the riff that they're playing in that little fade in intro. Then the verse kicks in, and I think the song takes off. The music in this song is really good. It's raw, more raw sound. The lyrics and melody are definitely dated and straight out of the early 80s. I do love Rick Emmett solos. I really dig him as a guitar player. I think his guitar playing is fantastic. I think he keeps that 70s style with adding a little bit of shredder to it, but not enough. That's just my opinion. I love the little break to take us out of the guitar solo and bring us back around. The band just gets my blood pumping. Is a cheesy song, and yes, I get it. It's a cheesy song, but mostly because of the lyrics and the melody. And it's just dated. I feel like getting behind the wheel for a road trip. This is like the couple songs that I like, 1, 2, and 4, I think are just great songs to fucking play on a road trip.
Let me out of that car, man. No fucking way.
We need to do a show of you and I in a car on a road trip. We each play song for song. Oh my God. And just videotape it, because we'll probably crash into every telephone pole.
Me and you in the back seat while Fee drives. Dude, but you're right with this guitar player, because it was so weird. It was like coming in and out of focus. Like, there's moments on this album where I'm like, man, this guy fucking shreds and kicks ass. He's fucking fire. And then there's other ones where he's playing these wonky pentatonic scales that just don't work, and he's sloppy, and it sounds just like not good. And I was having trouble figuring it out. Like, it almost felt like he had a style, like a 70s style, and he was like, to compete in the 80s, I'm going to need to learn some of these new riffs. And he learned them. But what doesn't make sense about this point is he's playing the 80s shredder riffs better than he's playing the 70s riffs. I don't know. It's all weird. Dave. No. Ed. Dave. Someone. Where are we? We had coffee. Fee. Talk about it.
Coffee and gummies. Good combination.
No gummies. I don't take them before 4.
Gotcha. I took some last night and they're very nice.
Ooh.
I like this song. I think it's okay. I think like once it gets going from that intro, it just they kind of stay in that groove the whole rest of the song, and it's pretty good. Ed, I was surprised it wasn't too long for you, or that you didn't say it doesn't really go anywhere for me. Like I was really surprised by that.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely dated. It's definitely I see what you're saying, but I don't know. I think it works for me just because I like the hook.
Oh, but dude, you're not wrong. Like I could see, like, because in the car you just kind of get into that groove of driving and whatever. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, put this on. This would keep me there.
Yeah, it's got a great tempo. It's got great energy, and it's going to be in the background. Like, it's not something where you're going to sit there and go, Allied Forces. You're going to be like talking while it's on, and you're just going to be bobbing your head, paying attention to the road. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I can see you. I can see you bobbing your head in the car to Allied Forces.
Justin Fee's lap.
Oh God!
Yes.
Who's Justin Fee? Your boyfriend? Okay. All right. Track 5. So this one is called "Hot Time," and I fucking hate a Johnny B. Good ripoff. I don't give a fuck who does it. Fuck this song. I fucking hated this song. The vocals are produced like fucking shit. There is so much reverb dumped on this vocal. It doesn't match any other vocal on the entire album. The trash can drums, they were like, hey, let's dump like a shitload of reverb on these shitty trash can drums and see if it makes them sound smoother. No. All it did was eat up the great bass that was on the track to where I couldn't hear it anymore. And again, they're going to shove the guitar solo in my right ear. No thanks. Fuck this tune. Dave, what'd you think?
Yeah, my note is rehash Chuck Berry. I didn't think it was too bad, but it was very hard to hear the lead vocal. It had too much echo, but it was a decent rocker.
Ed, what did you think of this one? Did you love it?
No, I can't stand songs like this. That early 80s rock and blues song that everyone's trying to relive the 50s rock. It's like, no, this sticks out like a sore thumb. It's like a fucking boil on your ass on this album.
It is.
Like, I would literally rather listen to Air Raid than this.
I would too.
I don't like when bands do this, and this is not a knock against them. It's a knock against every band. Yeah. Don't start a song. It's
Dude,
like, oh, fucking
it's
boom.
the exact riff from Johnny B. Good. They don't even try and hide it. It's Johnny B. Good. Fee, did you love this song?
No, not really. I mean, it was okay, but tell me this, guys, as musicians, these are the types of songs that live people fucking get up to, right?
Maybe.
Yeah, and there's songs that everyone likes to solo over because they're super easy to solo over.
Right.
Why not just do Johnny B. Good?
I agree.
They kind of did, right?
And, oh man, do I have a fun Chuck Berry fact?
And
We'll get paid for this one.
They'll get paid for this one. Fee, so what is your final thought on this piece of trash?
Just okay, middle of the road. Like, I don't know. Maybe live I'd like it. Probably not.
Yeah, probably not. All right, that's end side A. So I just got a couple of questions for you guys, because these are things I did when I was a kid, and I want to see how unusual of a child I was. So I'm going to run it by, and you guys are just going to say...
I'm pretty sure we've already established that.
I was going to say, do you have to ask?
Okay, so I was a weird kid, but let's just see if you guys did any of this shit. Have you ever eaten Play-Doh or chewed on Play-Doh after making like a little Play-Doh cheeseburger or a little Play-Doh piece of pizza? Have you ever chewed on Play-Doh? Dave?
I've smelled it, but not chewed on it or eaten it.
Okay. Ed?
Yeah, I'm with Dave. I smelled it. Like, it's that Play-Doh smell is so unforgettable. But yeah, no, I never ate it.
Fee, have you ever smelled it but not put it in your mouth?
Let me ask you this, Des. Did you also put lead paint chips as cheese on your little fake cheeseburgers?
We already have talked about me eating lead paint off the back of my grandmother's house, and you all admitted to eating lead paint. So, what is your answer?
Yep. Yes, I've sniffed it, but not put it in my mouth.
Okay, that still counts, just so you know. Okay,
fair enough.
2, have you ever bit into silly putty? Dave, have you ever bit a piece of silly putty?
Maybe. I can't remember.
Okay. Ed, have you ever bit a piece of silly putty?
I'm pretty sure, because I wanted to see my teeth mark impressions.
And Fee, have you ever bit silly putty?
I'm pretty sure that's a no.
My wife actually had bit silly putty, and my wife has definitely sniffed it, but not put it in her mouth. Play-Doh. I got laid last night. I actually have this ottoman in my room, and she came upstairs. I said, "Can we do it on the ottoman?" She goes, "That's fucking weird." And I'm like, "I don't care. I want to do it on the ottoman." And we did, and it was awesome. Number 3. Have you ever played with liquid mercury from a broken thermometer, put it in the palm of your hand, and swirled it around? Dave?
I have not.
Ed?
Yeah, definitely no.
Fee?
No.
Okay. Thank God I got caught doing this, and the mercury was taken away from me immediately, but I did do it. And finally, have you ever sniffed gasoline because it smells good? Dave?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Ed?
Absolutely.
And Fee?
Yeah, we're all fucking junkies. Yeah.
I did that the other day on my way to karate class. I was pumping gas. I was like, that smells good. Okay. That's it. So that ends, unless you guys, anybody want to add anything? Anybody have sex on an ottoman last night or sniff it?
Huh? I didn't know your sex doll could talk. That's awesome.
No, she can't. I don't have one. We've already determined that.
Okay.
Ed is working on it, though. Okay.
Yes, I am.
Okay. Number 6, Fight the Good Fight. So we get more Led Zeppelin here. This song is good, but not as good as the songs and bands they're trying to emulate, like Led Zeppelin and Rush. The singer is talented, but he lacks personality and control. He just lives in the high register. Get a nice melodic guitar solo, but it's so Jimmy Page and not as good and not as creative. The bass again, fucking amazing. Every track, this guy's fucking money. And by this time, I am so over these fucking 70s drum fills, these long tom rolls and trash can snare hits. Oh, God, I am just done with this guy. Yeah, that's what I got on that. Dave, what do you got?
Yuck. Acoustic and flute keyboard again. We got more elf magicians on the way. Prog rock, Rush style BS. But in that classicrockrevisited.com interview that I was talking about before, Gil the drummer pinpointed this as one of his favorite vocal performances of his bandmate Rick.
Interesting. Ed, did you like it?
I did. Every time I hear this opening to this song, I get excited. I don't know why. I don't think there's anything spectacular about it. I love this song. I think it's a great song. The pre-chorus in the song is the massive hook. The bass line during it, like the whole melodic bass line that's so clean and matches the melody that Rick's singing. I'm getting excited just thinking about it. And then you bring in this monstrous rock chorus that breaks down with another great bass line to bring it back into the verse. I mean, the bass line just, it stands out. It dominates this song, this band. So underrated. The guitar solo, I don't think disappoints. This is just a great rock song that really a prelude to the music scene to come, in my opinion. You know, because I get a lot of like transition between the 60s, 70s rock to the early 80s with this song. I just feel it's that perfect blend.
Nobody was influenced by Triumph or this album specifically.
I'm not saying influence so much as I think they just had that sound that was the transition sound that people kind of said, yeah, all right, let's take that and make it this.
This album should have been white with the words rock band stamped on the front. Fee, what do you got on this tune?
It does. I'm going to disagree with you for 1 second here. There is one note I have of someone who may have been influenced by this, and it's Mr. Big.
I agree.
Oh, no.
I agree 100%. But honestly, this is way better than Mr. Big. Way better. Way better.
I'm torn on that one myself,
God,
but
Mr. Big is
I don't know, way better,
gay.
but
You guys are fucking gay.
If Mr. Big was a vegetable, it would be a cucumber. Fee, keep going.
Jesus.
The most delicious of all vegetables,
You fucking
Right.
full of water.
I like it when it's pickled.
Oh, God. I bet you do. No, this song's pretty good. I mean, it's okay. I guess with a lot of these songs, like is it supposed to be like a motivational, like an anthem type song? And for me, that like the message doesn't necessarily fit the music, but it's a pretty good song.
Well, they were like an early arena rock band, so yeah, it was kind of like that's what they were going for.
Yeah, and maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Like the message is strong, but I didn't felt the music got me as excited as the message, and vice versa. You know what I mean? I don't know. I kept going back and forth on that, but pretty good tune.
Such a weird band, Ed. Such a weird band because my mind says yes, but my gut says no.
So you're telling me I picked a good band because it's making you think. It's something you hadn't listened to before. So it was a good album for the podcast?
Yeah, I mean, it was a great album for the podcast. And it's just a confusing listen for me because it doesn't suck. But
Kind of like
it's
the alphabet?
it's like a bowl of soup and like after the guy made it and served it. Yeah, like after the guy
It took a
served it to me, it was like he was like, oh shit, I put in cinnamon instead of cumin. Like it makes a big
get that.
difference.
Yeah, I get that. I can get that. I can relate to that.
Like, oh, if you would just put the right spice in, this would have been delicious. But it's not.
Yeah, like the next song. I'm pretty sure we're all going to have the same notes.
Okay, so let's get to it. My first note. Snoozer. Jesus. He's a good player, but who cares? This isn't a song. Include this in Air Raid, and we have a 7-song album. This isn't a song. I mean, he's a good player. He's a good player. But who cares? This isn't Cry No More by LA Guns. Like, I didn't hear this and be like, I have to learn this. Ed, why are you shaking your head? Cry No More is a infectious piece of guitar playing that belongs on an
I'll
album
take
with
your
its own
word for
track. Dave, can you play Cry No More?
I haven't tried, but probably.
Oh, I can play it. You would think Tracy Guns was sitting right next to you.
Nice.
Okay, Dave, just tear this piece of shit apart.
Yep, the overblown a cappella vocals. Ugh. In my personal iTunes, I rated this lower than all the other songs on this album because it sounds so Spinal Tap.
Wait.
Yeah.
We're talking about Petite Etude, right?
No, we're talking about Ordinary Man.
What?
Ordinary Man.
We haven't gotten
Oh,
to the guitar
okay.
piece of
Oh, wait,
Petite
I skipped
Etude
over.
yet.
What I
Okay.
just said was about Petite Etude.
Oh no.
Let me quickly go. The a cappella intro performed well, but it's not cool. For example, when Queen does it, cool. When these guys do it, not cool. There it is. Drums, not my cup of tea. Hated his fill selection. Didn't like this song. Great bass. This guy's great. Dave, go.
Yes, the overblown a cappella vocals, yuck. My personal iTunes, I rated this lower than all the other songs because it sounds so Spinal Tap. Look in the mirror and tell me what you see is the first vocal line. How many songs open with that or have that in it? 12-string guitar and keyboards. Fun fact, the bass player produced most of Triumph's material in the studio. So, yeah, I mean, I think he was kind of the captain of the ship from the production standpoint, excuse me. Song turns pretty rockin' halfway through, complete with pipeline-style guitar pick runs. The prog rock continues just after that, however. This song is over 7 minutes long. Guitar soloing is just okay. The high singing at the end, I do not enjoy. It sounds like nails on a chalkboard.
Dave, I can promise you that I didn't listen to the entire 7 minutes, but only one time when I listened to it on the way to work, I listened to the whole album and I said, I am not listening to that whole song again.
Nope.
Ed, what do you got?
Yeah, it's funny because the acapella opening, I'm like, this is like a bad version of a Kansas song. Like at that time, Kansas just owned acapella and big singing. You know, Queen was different. Queen was beyond like whatever everyone thought. But yeah, I got a total, in my opinion at least, I think this is like just them going, hey, you hear Kansas do like Carry On My Wayward Son? We should do that. You know, even, I don't know, Wayward Son may have come out before or after this. I don't even know. But this just sounds like a bad version of it, in my opinion. Way too much of a late 70s rock opera, proggy, folky story. Or I'm just like, no. But again, the bass stands out. It's fantastic. But yeah, it was weird, the 180 that it does, Dave. I found it just, I'm like, okay, they should have just done this song.
Right.
Like, that would have been a better song, in my opinion.
Cut out the first part.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was just crazy. But
Ed, the
I don't
Kansas
like it.
song, the Kansas song has amazing words, amazing melodies.
I agree.
It's a-
That's why I said this is like
Yeah.
a bad version of it. I don't know whichever came first, but this
It's
is
a boner fest.
that's what it reminded me of. Oh, it just, yeah, I didn't
These
like
guys
it. Not
were
a
like-
fan.
These guys were like, let's take the worst possible melody. Let's go for something kind of like goofy opera. It just fucking sucks. V, what do you think?
I'm glad we're all on the same page on this one because I was like, I wanted to murder this song by the end of the week. These guys have an identity crisis. That was one of my first notes on this one, you know?
Great point.
And I guess like it kind of reminded me of like a more modern protest song. You know how everyone in like the 60s, early 70s kind of wrote a protest song, you know? This kind of reminded me of that, but it didn't really hit, you know? It just didn't, I don't know. I was just bored to death with this whole thing. I didn't like it at all. Definitely my least favorite track on the album.
Yeah, Allied Forces was their protest song from what I gathered, Dave. Yeah.
Yeah, and the Kansas song came out in '76. So
Yeah, and I'll
about
bet the
5 years
drums
earlier.
sounded.
There we go.
fuckload
So yeah,
better.
so it's like they heard it and said, "Let's try this."
Yeah, I don't recall hearing that song and thinking these drums sound like shit either. So, oh, okay. Petititude. Am I pronouncing that right?
I would say yes.
What is a petititude? Do you smell it? Do you eat it?
You
I
don't-
don't know.
Maybe it's
It's a
French.
short-
They are
A
Canadian.
short study. Yeah.
Little etude.
Yeah.
Oh man. I went on a little vacation up to Canada once. Back of my uncle's motorcycle. We drove up there and we stayed in the old.
Hold the phone. Hold the phone.
Yep.
You decided
you,
to
Ed.
take a little vacation on the back of your uncle's motorcycle to Canada?
Yeah, it was weird.
This is like an after-school special right now where you're describing. Tell
Yeah.
me, show me in the doll where he touched you, because that's what this sounds like it's going. No offense to your uncle, because I'm sure it didn't happen, or I hope it
No.
didn't happen. But oh my
Thank-
god,
Thank God it didn't. He's a large man. Yeah, we stopped at different campsites along the way, and then we got up into Canada. We stayed in the old city, in a little flat thing. And-
can you narrow it down? You understand Canada is actually larger than the United States.
Yeah, we stayed
And
in
you
the
just
old
say we
city.
drove up into Canada and you stayed in Old City. That's the name of the city.
Yeah, old city.
What province?
I have no idea.
Quebec?
I was like 10. So, but I
that gets
Was
I
it near
remember
worse.
Quack?
I have no idea. But I do know that they sold switchblades and I think fireworks. I think I was impressed by that. And
Ninja Stars?
maybe. Oh, I have a good Ninja Star story. And we had I ate frog legs for the first time and beef bourguignon for the first time there. Very good.
Both delicious.
Yes, and we got a cheeseburger on the way up, and once we were in Canada. And I remember when they brought it to the table, the beef patty was so small, it was funny. And I remember saying something like in front of the waitress, and something rude. And my uncle kind of grabbed my hand, and she goes, "You know, I speak English too, right?" And I was like, "Oh fuck." All right, that story
All right,
sucked.
so literally, it's like you just described a Saturday Night Live skit.
Yeah, I don't know.
We drove up on the back of my uncle's motorcycle, staying at numerous campsites along the way.
Let's call them rest areas. Okay.
Fuck.
Okay. Yeah, me and Richie Keys threw a bunch of Chinese throwing stars into doors in Queen Anne's Gate, the complex I'm
Oh,
always talking
God.
about.
Of
And we
course.
destroyed these doors. So we got caught and we blamed it on a kid called Danny Schronix. We made the name up. And the guy that was the manager there was a cop. His name was Jimbo. And he got us and he pressed us until finally we broke. We're like, all right, there's no Danny Schronix. We did it. And they made us shovel snow to pay for the doors. Fun story. Okay. I don't even know what we're doing. Did anybody talk about petititude yet? It sucked.
Petititude.
It sucked. Dave, what do you think?
Okay. Classical style guitar solo. It's fine. I kind of like it better than heavy guitar playing on this album. I'm just going to say it. This guy's a nerd. He looks like every guitar teacher at the local music store in 1985. I watched a few songs from Triumph at the US Festival in California in 1983 on Heavy Metal Day, including Judas Priest, Ozzy, Scorpions, and headlined by Van Halen, and these guys were not fitting in. They were the wussiest band there that day by far. The guitar player wore his guitar up around his tits. That automatically qualifies you from being cool. Disqualifies you. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Let me retake that. That automatically disqualifies you from being cool. However, this guitar interlude on the album was nice.
Oh, dude, yes. So, Ed, because I know you're clueless to this, sleazy cool guitar players. The lower you play
No.
the guitar, the cooler you are.
Yeah.
No. The height has nothing to do with how good you play guitar.
No, I didn't say how good you play guitar. I said how cool you are.
I won't disagree that there's a lot of cool looking guys who play really shitty guitar.
Okay. Nicely played, sir. What do you think about this?
I like it. I like it's a little,
Gay?
classical. No, it's a little classical piece. I'm curious though. Did he do this? What came out first? D by Rainy Roads off what was that? Blizzard of Oz that was on, or did this? Would
doesn't
Blizzard
matter.
Of Oz, do you not like D? I mean, D
I
is
love
great.
D.
little-
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter which one came out first.
I'm not
Don't
saying
even
one's
talk
better
about
than the
it.
other. I'm just saying it's. I'm curious if he was influenced. Randy did this. Let me do this too because I can kind of do a version of it.
Yeah, I think
definitely
Randy
not
used,
as good, but
Randy used to play that back when he was in the clubs with Quiet Riot. So, probably at least a few years before
that's true.
81.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, you know what? That was a thing back then, though. So you heard it all the time. People trying to do it. So whatever. It was there was no point to it in the album, but I guess one of those ego things back then. Maybe I don't know.
Dude, I missed an opportunity last week. I was listening to the show and me and Ed were fucking getting on about how great one of the songs were. And Fee goes, what do you call it when two guys are jerking each other off? And I missed it. It's gay. That's the answer. Gay. Okay.
Oh, I'm pretty sure us talking about docking enough was pretty much laying the groundwork for gay.
Fee, did you like that intro of the show last week? That shit was funny, man. I think you need a foreskin for that. Go ahead, talk about fucking petite to a docking.
I guess I have a question. Petit étude is supposed to showcase a skill, and does this showcase a skill? Like, was this masterful playing? I don't know.
I do.
I don't know.
Answer.
Was
thought
it
it was good.
necessary?
There's some decent classical style guitar playing.
It's not necessary. Who cares? That's what I wrote. Who cares?
Right. It wasn't necessary. Like, I'd rather listen to something like the intro to Tesla's Love Song than this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. Even though I didn't super love that song.
Yeah, but that was because they wrote that as the intro for the song.
Right.
Anytime you do something like that, if you're able to blend it into the next song, it would be great. But
Do you guys understand this
Right.
isn't a real album? This has no fucking direction. It's not comprehensive. It's not finished. It doesn't go anywhere. There's incomplete songs. There's half songs. There's quarter songs. There's songs that aren't songs. This thing is a fucking wreck. It's a fucking disaster. Track 9, Say Goodbye. Bye, Triumph album forever. By this time, I can't listen to this band or this fucking bland vanilla bullshit rock anymore. I just can't. The song is fine, but like the whole album, it's just a fucking messy, convoluted fucking don't care anymore. But it was pretty good. Dave, what do you got? I don't know. Just how I feel. I'm confused.
Oh.
I'm confused. Do I put it in my mouth or do I just sniff it? I don't know. I'm gonna go with the sniff. I'm just gonna sniff it.
See what they did there? Last song on the album entitled Say Goodbye. Nothing? Waka waka.
Waka, waka, waka.
Pretty rockin' sounding. More basic slide guitar. The pre-chorus and the chorus are pretty decent, even though it's the same chords as Living After Midnight by Judas Priest. The middle break is kind of more of the same and just builds back up to the final choruses. No guitar solo, except a few licks at the end. I get more Journey vibes from this one. Meh.
Yeah, Dave, there's tons of Journey vibes on this album, but again, the singers have no identity. This isn't like listening to fucking Journey,
Yeah.
where you're like, oh, this guy's great and his voice is refined and he knows what he wants to do with this song. No, they were just like, hit every high note you can, give me a couple of uhs, and that's great rock and roll. No, this guy could have put out a great vocal track. The two fucking singers that sound exactly the same, but they were just not reeled in or refined. Ed, talk about this.
Give us
last
a couple
song.
what?
A what?
Give us a couple what, Des?
I don't Holy shit.
I love this song.
You would. You would.
I do. I was upset that it wasn't on their greatest hits because I just think it's a great song. The chorus hook is massive. The vocal harmonies and melody I enjoyed. It's one of the, in my opinion, a completely underrated song for the time period. Wasn't appreciated as much as I thought it should have been. I just love this song. You can't not hear it and not sing it.
Ed, was the greatest hits album of 45?
No, it was not. They actually had a lot of. They were that band that had like one or two hits on a whole bunch of albums,
Yeah.
and that's all you need, man. And I think they had what? I think they had 8 albums, maybe.
Maybe even more. Yeah.
Yeah.
How,
mean, a
how
lot of
was I
music.
not famous? Seems like there was room.
Oh, I can give you a million reasons for that, Des.
Oh, shit. All right. All right.
Starting with that picture of a band that you sent
That was
of
good
you
stuff.
in.
That picture's cool.
Oh
Fee.
my god.
You
Talk
just
about
don't.
gay.
You just don't get it. And I wore that guitar so low. Fee,
I refer back to my previous comment.
Correct.
dude, that picture was so cool. You know what? I may put that picture on the Breaking Vinyl Facebook page for all to enjoy.
Oh no, you know
There
we
you
should
go.
do a Breaking
Please
Vinyl
do.
show where we do a couple of your songs, a couple songs that I did with Impact, and a couple songs Dave did in other bands, and just tear them to bits.
Oh, shit. I might avoid that. Fee, please, finish this.
I want to do that show. I think that would be a lot of fun.
Put this out of
um,
our misery.
No, this is a good way to end the album. I kind of like the song. I was like, Ed's gonna love this song. This is the one where I think Mr. Big stole directly from this song. I think, but
God.
yeah, Ed's gonna love this, and you know, it's okay. You know, better than average for sure. Like it's a good way to end the album. I like it.
Okay, I disagree. This is not better than average. Okay, so we did it. We broke down Triumph. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Good pick, Ed. Made for some fun conversation. And now it is time to release.
The bonus track.
Today's bonus track is brought to us by Chip Douglas of the Bryant Park area. He writes, guys, I'd love to hear your review, The Ballad of Youth by Richie Sambora. And my 2 brothers love the show too. So guys, I love Richie Sambora. All right, no, I don't love Richie Sambora. I like Richie Sambora. Very talented, great singer, better than Bon Jovi, great guitar player. And this song is fine, but it definitely lacks the earworm hook, as Fee would say. And the video is a tribute to Richie Sambora by Richie Sambora. It's a little gay. The solo, it's solid, but I wanted more because I know Richie can just deliver as a guitar player. And I don't know, it felt like he was kind of trying to explore like I don't know what he was doing here, but I've heard better from Richie Sambora. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. It was decent. My watch score, 62.5. Dave, what do you got on this one?
All right, this is from his first album, solo album, Stranger in This Town from 1991. It's got, according to Wikipedia, Bon Jovi bandmates Tico Torres on drums and David Bryan on keyboards. Okay, first off the bat, you know, Richie is my guy here. We are from the same town, Woodbridge, New Jersey. He went to the same high school as I did. I've been a Bon Jovi fan for quite a while. It starts off with some acoustic guitar, honestly a little slow. Then the band kicks in and it sounds a lot better. Nice guitar melody. Richie's vocal can put most other 80s lead singers to shame. And he's mostly known as a guitar player. Everything sounds great. Song is kind of not great, but it keeps moving enough so, you know, you don't really notice before it's over. Decent solo, you know, a little wah-wah action there. The breakdown after the solo has a nice melody. Chorus is decent. My score is 66.
Dave, I like my Richie Sambora when he goes more for like a classic. Like he's just better than this. He's better than this. This was too 80s hair metal for me for Sambora. I want my Sambora a little more grown up than this.
Yeah.
Ed,
So you're more of a fan of his second solo album?
I don't know any of his solo work, but I was expecting a little more. I've heard some of it, just pieces.
Yeah. So the first is very 80s vibey.
Offspring
The
of
second
Bon
album.
Jovi.
The second album is very, oh, well, I was not expecting this, and it's in a great way, in my opinion. I'm a massive Richie Sambora fan. This song is a little classical guitar-ish thing in the beginning, or classical-ish guitar in the beginning. And then it kicks in, and I love the groove. I mean, I think it's a monster groove. The flow of the music with the lead guitar and then the vocal melody, it's loaded with emotion. The problem is it lacks dynamics, in my opinion. Like, it hits the gas and it never really lets off when it should. Like, you're like, oh, I wish this kind of just pulled back a little here, and then that's all it's lacking, in my opinion. All of Richie Sambora's solo albums are a must listen for people who enjoy rock, blues, pop-ish style music. His songs are just addicting. His voice and his playing are some of the best. He is so underrated as both a singer and a player. Honestly, his guitar solos to songs and Joe Perry's guitar solos to songs, I think they're two of the best guitarists for writing a solo to fit the song and not just show off ever. I think they're perfect. But this song, I gave it an 82.8.
I agree, Ed. He's very melodic, and he's got a lot of really good melody. He knows how to follow the rhythm of his song very well. I agree. He's really good. And maybe I'd heard one of those Sambora songs off the second album, so I was expecting something that didn't sound anything like Bon Jovi, and it kind of did a little bit. So that's, I think, what threw me off with this song a little. But I didn't hate it. I thought it was good.
Yeah.
Fee, what do you got?
So I was a little elevated when I listened to this last night, and I forgot to write notes, but
Okay.
Elevated.
Yes,
Gummy man.
yes. we'll
5
leave it at
milligrams? 5 milligrams?
I don't know. A friend of mine's brother makes his own in Michigan, and he brought some out, so it's kind of like
No.
you just
I'm
just
not
take a
taking
little.
my chance with that. No.
See where
I
it
need a
goes.
package with doses on the back. I'm not like, hey, I made this in my bathtub. Oh, great, give me some.
Well, sometimes you got to take a chance, you know.
No.
And last night was one of those nights, and yeah, feeling pretty good. I remember enjoying it, you know, like I didn't dislike, but I also didn't wake up going, oh man, let me add that to a playlist. So for that reason, I'll give it a 72. I think I remember enjoying it. It was good.
Nice. What flavor was your gummy?
I think that one was cherry. It was red. That's all I know. Yeah.
I got a bunch of different flavors now. I got some limoncello. I got some passion berry and got all sorts of good stuff. I'm a connoisseur now of the gummy.
Nice.
Took the most I ever took yesterday. A little too
Yeah.
How
much.
much was that?
10 milligrams throughout the whole day. I took a 5 in the morning and a 5 in the afternoon.
That's it?
Night. 5 in the morning. 5. Well, I've been taking half a 5. I've been splitting a 5 in half, and it's like wasn't quite enough. So I took a whole 5, and then I took a whole 5 at like 8, and by like 10, I was like, that might have been a little too much. So I'm gonna dial it in a little bit.
Yeah. If you're able to
You'll be-
find like the 2.5 milligram mints, oh, they have to dive for, because they take the anxiety just enough away, and you can feel when they start to fade. So you just pop another 2, and you're completely fucking sane.
Yeah,
It's
that's how
awesome.
I've been. The 2.5 seems to work perfectly for me, and I maybe add like another 0.5 onto it. It's perfect. And I will say, so it's about 2 weeks into my experiment. My base is so much higher than it was. Like it's really curved my OCD. And, you know, people say, oh, OCD, I have it. I like everything to be in a straight line. That's not OCD. OCD
No.
is when your brain is fucking a train wreck. And mine is fucking way better. So gummies, good stuff. Ed, will you please calculate those scores? Huh? I'm on fire today.
Well, Des.
Okay. Yeah.
Ballad of Youth by Richie Sambora. We're all a fan of Richie Sambora. We all have different levels of expectations of this, or interpretations, I should say, of this song. And this song, I think, is under where it should be, but still acceptable. This is pushing 70.82 watts.
That's perfect for this song. That's perfect for this song, I think.
I
And
think it should
Dave.
have been around like 78-ish.
It's in the ballpark. I would like to hear one of the ones off the second album. I think we could have done better with this pick. I fault you for that, Chip Douglas.
As you should.
Dave, this is your job. Tell
Yeah.
us where this lands on the Breaking Vinyl Wall of Fame.
This is at number 10 on the bonus track chart Wall of Fame, under Asia's Time Again, and just over Cry Little Sister from the Lost Boys.
That fucking Asia song sucks.
Moving up. I love
Groundhog Day's coming up.
Oh, it is.
Nope.
We're gonna fucking go to
Yeah.
town.
it. 100-watt song.
All right, so I have been looking forward to this since I heard about it. I'm really looking forward to this. So we have a special guest calling in today. We have Triumph, the insult dog, calling in. I can't believe it. So let's go to the phones. Hello, Triumph, is this you? Do you want to comment on the album we're reviewing today?
Yes, they are amazing. I have one question. Did Rick Emmett also feather his pubes in the 80s? I kid. Seriously, this album is great. For me to poop on!
Okay, thanks. And
Oh my god, I can't wait to get sued.
Thank you, Triumph the Insult Dog. We appreciate you being a fan of the show and calling in, and I'm sure that flaming red bush was feathered. Okay. What do we got left here? My favorite song, and I use favorite loosely because I had no favorite song, but I would have to say Magic Power. The song I'd cut would be Hot Time because it sucked. I would remove Gilmore on drums and I would replace him with the great Nick Mason of Pink Floyd. I'm sure he would have got a better sound. Dave, what do you got?
My favorite track, Allied Forces. It was pretty rocking. I would cut Air Raid. Needs to go. Does it really count as a song? Otherwise, Ordinary Man. It's too cheesy in prog rock.
Okay.
Oh,
Andrew,
sorry. I forgot my
yes.
replacement.
Yes.
And okay, so replace one member of the band. I will replace Rick Emmett. I don't know that much about him, but was not really impressed by his guitar playing, despite being hyped endlessly in guitar magazines in the 80s. He can sing high, but sometimes gets kind of annoying. I'm going to put in someone with much tastier licks, little lower vocal range, but much greater songwriting chops. The legendary Ace Frehley. Ace will fix everything.
Oh god, no.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
Such a terrible guitar player. Oh,
Oh, terrible
gross.
guitar player. You fucking on crack right now?
Ace Frehley sucks. Oh my god.
Shit.
Ace
Ace
rules.
Frehley's- Oh, he brings
When
the
it comes
70s.
to musicianship, the four of them, the original members of Kiss, are fucking terrible. Oh,
Love Ace Frehley's solos. Oh,
terrible. Oh,
no. Terribly good. Ed, what do you got?
all right. Favorite track, Magic Power. What track would I cut? I am with Dave. Air Raid, but I don't really consider that a track because it's just noise. So I would cut Ordinary Man. If I would replace anyone in the band, I would replace Gil Moore. And I would replace him with Kelly Keagy from Night Ranger because he is a significantly better version of Gil Moore.
Perfect.
Much better drummer and a much better singer.
And I guarantee you, the album that they cut in 1981, the drums sounded way better. Dude, these drums sound like shit. And it's nothing to do with 1981. Nothing to do with 1981. Fee, what do you got?
Okay. I like that pick, Ed. Favorite track, Fool for Your Love. Cut Ordinary Man because it fucking blows. Replace everyone with Rush? No.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
would I think I would just add a singer to this, and I was kind of listening to a little bit of Deep Purple last night too, and I think is it Ian Gillan? I think he'd be a good fit for this band.
Ah, dude, Fee, I actually had Deep Purple up as well, and that's a great pick. Really good. I love it. Would have worked magically.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do some quick final thoughts. We'll score this thing and we'll put it in the vault. So this album is a bit of a mess. It feels incomplete, borderline unfinished. The drums were not for me, and the vocals were good, but got annoying after a while. Bit of a one-trick pony. This album, I don't know, man. It is universally recognized to have a couple of hits on it, even though these hits did not sound as good and were not as complete and cohesive as I remember them being when I heard them on the radio. If it wasn't for the hits, I would trash this thing completely, but it's just above average. It's pushing 50.1 watts. I think that's a little high, but I'll give them the respect they deserve. And I will never listen to 1 second of any song on this album ever again. Dave, what do you got?
The good, 39 minutes. Perfect album length to get through in a sitting, not too dense. The bad, these guys sound like Journey made out with Rush in a back booth at Tim Hortons.
Gross.
It's decent, some okay parts, but some definitely not okay parts too. Actually, pretty great bassist, decent drummer. We didn't point out how the bassist looks a lot like Derek Smalls from Spinal Tap. But
Totally. They base that character off him totally. Oh.
So good.
yes, the songs are just kind of not there, and the guitar is a little off for me. My score is 52.
Now, Dave, me and you were fucking in the pocket today, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Ed, what do you got?
All right. I'm a fan of Triumph. I'm a fan of all these guys. I think as a band they worked. I totally agree with you guys with some of the things looking back kind of lack direction in identity. And I can agree with that. But this has 4 solid songs that I absolutely love on it. So I gave this a 72.1.
And it has 4 solid ideas on it. I'll give you that. Good score, too. Thank you for not going fucking bloated on this one because it didn't deserve it. Fee, what do you got?
It's where it is.
Good score.
Yeah, I kind of felt the same way at the end of this as I went going into it. Like, I like Triumph songs, but I don't love Triumph. Like, I'm not a fan, but I don't hate them either. So a little bit above average. I don't know. I had a tough time with this score, and I ended up on 65.
I like it. That's a good score. Ed, will you please calculate those scores? Tell us how many watts this bitch is pushing.
I hate you all.
Okay.
I think you guys gave this too low. I think Fee is probably a good ballpark for where I think you, Des, and Dave should have been.
I agree.
But is scores of scores, and this album is pushing a slightly above average 59.8 watts.
And Dave, where does that score land it on the Breaking Vinyl chart?
That will put us at number 27, just under Mr. Big's Lean Into It. Yes. And just over Hoobastank's self-titled album.
Oh, man, I like both of those albums. No, not Mr. Big. I'm not going there.
Yeah.
Not Mr. Big.
Don't do it.
But
Don't do it.
I don't even know if I'd listen to Hoobastank over this. Dude, Ed, you realize those are all your picks, right? Shit,
I do.
Shit.
I disagree.
Well, the fucking chart doesn't lie. Okay? Your picks suck.
Really?
Yeah.
I you know what? When we do our Groundhog Day episode, we need to review all our scores so we can see how widespread yours are. everything. If you like it, it's close to 90. If you hate it, it is near the bottom of the pile. There's no in between with you.
I love it. I love it.
Oh.
All right, that's good. I think we did it. So Dave, you have next week's pick, is that right?
Do I?
I don't know. Do you?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, no.
I did not realize I had next week's pick. So,
Take a minute.
So can I get back to you on that?
No, because the fans need to know what album they're going to be listening to next week. So you
Oh,
are
God
on the
damn it.
spot.
All right. I am on the spot. Let me find something good.
Listen, you take a minute while I do the tell the people what I need to tell them.
All right.
So next week, or this week, on our sister podcast, Hey, Did You Ever See That Movie? We reviewed the Tom Cusack movie 1408, the horror movie where he is trapped in room 1408. And I was really prepared for this podcast. I brought it strong, almost sounded like a real movie reviewer. Good stuff.
Did you mispronounce any words, Des?
Oh, absolutely.
Or did your wife correct you at all?
Undoubtedly. Diddly. Yes.
I need to remember to give her a great big hug and kiss next time I see her, just for all the shitting on you she does.
Oh, she loves to shit on me. It was funny because she was down in the kitchen last night, like getting something to eat, and I came up behind her and I fucking like was trying to put some moves on her. She goes, "What are you doing?" She was eating cheese, and I went to kiss her, and she goes, "So, what do you want, a mouthful of cheese?" I go, like, I just want to do it. She goes, "That's not happening." And I went back upstairs. And I heard like a knock on my door, and she obviously felt bad and gave herself up to me.
Were you
online.
dragging the Oculus down over your face when she knocked on the door?
Actually, fun fact, maybe 15 minutes after I banged her on the ottoman, I relived the memory with my a fucking 2 minutes. All right, Dave, I hope I gave you enough time to pick an album. What do you got?
All right. Well, let's stick with the newer rock like we did last week. I have a pick from 2015 that's pretty solid. It's an album called Electric Blood by the Biters.
Oh, cool. I think I opened for them at the club in Bunratty's. I think we opened
Maybe.
for the Biters at Bunratty's. Could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure we did. All right, that's it. We did it. Yeah.
Yay!
All right. So until next time, take the fucking album out of the sleeve. Let the fucking music breathe. That's it. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Dicks.
Later.
Nice job, fellas.